Lithium, when it was low in areas, that correlated to the same areas having the highest rates of anxiety, suicide, and depression.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's wild.
This is how nutrition becomes personality.
Yeah, that's wild. If you're dealing with anxiety, hair tests could be a really great tool for you because you could start learning what is creating that, what's lacking from that. And if you're
Huge.
dealing with sleep, which I'm going to switch back to, is I'm going to go back to what I learned from you 3 years ago, and I just got lazy with it because I've been taking all the different types of magnesium right now. So I'm going to go back to trying, doing this, and I'll track my deep sleep for people so they can actually see. Because that's what got me like, whoa, this is crazy. This is a big change quickly. So, so we'll track that again. Let's talk about lack of mental clarity for a minute. What typically causes that? Because I hear this described a lot in midlife. It's I've got foggy head, or I can't focus, or all of a sudden people are diagnosing themselves with new ADD, and I'm like, so there's all these different things. What is that also a mineral deficiency? What's happening there?
It absolutely is. At the very least, in part, mineral deficiency. I created a product a while ago that has all these nutrients in it, but it can be any combination of these, and usually often it's all of these to some extent. So things like boron, manganese, which is something that helps the SOD pathway and can help with thyroid function. If you're cold all the time, like cold hands, cold feet, color in your hair. If you're losing that, you're probably
so if we're all gray like me, can we reverse that?
Yeah, there's a large percentage of people that see an improvement in their hair.
Wow.
And along the way, so hair and skin, right? We remember that is just an outward reflection of how we're doing internally. Part of the reason why we value it is because it goes back to like the whole mating thing of like, well, if someone has great skin, they're probably fertile. If they have great hair, that increases the
or they have hair extensions. I mean, we don't know.
Exactly.
Really
totally. There's so many ways to get.
That's the thing. It's trickery now. We don't know.
Totally.
Like, there's plastic surgery.
If you're just on an island somewhere, with a bunch of people, you would see quickly the people, and they most likely have other health issues, like their skin is not looking good. All these different things. So all of this is very, very connected, and it influences all of this. Like silica is essential also, and it's not something we make at the moment, but that's essential for keeping the structure of the face up, and tendons and tissues, and helping collagen work in the body, and all these different things. So there's a lot. I mean, there's just a lot to it, and without testing, you just kind of never know. The other thing I would add to what you're saying around anxiety is something that had really helped someone super close to me who was on SSRIs, and that this is not advice or anything, although I would say, talk with someone that understands the type of testing we do, which we also have if someone wants that, but she was able to get off of her SSRIs over time using upgraded mood. And that can't be advice for people, but that is a story.
What is in
upgraded
shared. Mood? What's this?
So we have some lithium, some chromium, some fulvic acid, some magnesium.
Can people take this stuff without doing a hair test? Like, I have a bottle of upgraded mood. Can I just pop some in before my next podcast?
Yeah.
Am I gonna, or is it like you have to take it over time, or how does that work?
So there's a great study. It's called the groundwater study, and they found in different parts of the U.S. that had the lowest amounts of lithium in the groundwater, because most people are still drinking tap water. They found, and cooking with it, rinsing with it, bathing. Even though I have filters on everything, and then I just make sure I get the minerals. Because you have fluoride and chlorine and birth control and all sorts of things in the groundwater, and we're wondering like why people are having hormone issues, men and women. It's like people are mass dosed with like hormones in the supply now, estrogens, all sorts of things. So they realized that lithium, when it was low in areas, that correlated to the same areas having the highest rates of anxiety, suicide, and depression.
Whoa. Yeah. That's wild.
This is how nutrition becomes personality.
Yeah, that's wild. You know what's funny about you? I was just remembering when I was hanging out with you in Hawaii. You know, like, okay, for those of you listening, like maybe your business is you do eyebrows and you start noticing everyone's eyebrows, or your business, you do hair, you notice everyone's hair, or you're a fitness instructor, you notice everyone's body. What Barton would do, you still do this probably, you would like talk to someone and you'd be like, they're deficient in blah, blah, blah. Like you could tell based on how fast they talk or what they're doing, like what they're deficient. Voice. You were doing that to me. You told me what I was deficient in. You're like, wild. Just by knowing me for like 10 minutes, you're like, you talk fast, you are deficient in this.
Yeah, wild. So it's amazing. I mean, part of it is just like, you have a great mental processing speed, and that's part of it. But
I do have a great mental processing speed. Thank you, Bard.
You know, it's like there's so many different types of intelligence, and some people have very fluid, like fast intelligence, like what you have, and I think it's awesome. And we need all types of people for sure. And it gets exacerbated in different directions when you have deficiency. And I think that's what you're talking about. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. I was like, I barely know you, and you're telling me what I'm deficient in. But that's
like, and we'll prove it, and we'll see if I'm wrong or right or what. And it's really fun. It's a fun thing. But I realized I got great at that because I used to do so many hair analyses, and I would be on the phone with someone, and I would be looking at their results, right? And talking to them about what symptoms they're having, and like, oh, you're tired. Okay. Oh, okay, you don't have a lot of energy, and you're bloated all the time, and you feel anxious, and you're not sleeping well, and on and on and on and on. Your estrogen is this way, your testosterone is this way, your progesterone is this way. You think you have iron toxicity, or I mean deficiency. You probably have iron toxicity, like we talked about earlier. Even so, go back and listen to that part too if you're hearing this for the first time, because it's not something you hear really anywhere, unfortunately. And definitely share that, because so many people, I literally have to have a call later today with someone that's in the wellness space that doesn't understand this, and she has a big health podcast.
Yeah.
And I won't mention any names, but it's interesting because look, doctors kill people all the time in hospitals. Sure. There's a word for it, and it's one of the highest rates of death. And again, this is not to blame doctors. They're usually trying to do. They're almost always in it for the right reasons. It's the education system that's flawed and bad.